Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with CNN News 18. I'm Shivani Gupta. I'm joining you live from Melbourne, Australia, from outside the Melbourne cricket ground, where the build-up to the mega India versus Pakistan clash on Sunday is well and truly on. First up, let me give my viewers a little bit of a weather update because that's what we've been watching out for. So it did rain on Saturday. It's been overcast almost throughout the day. But the weather prediction for Sunday, and especially Sunday evening, has eased up a little bit. Fingers crossed, we will not only watch the match, but a full 20-over-a-side match. Both captains today spoke about their expectations from the World Cup and the clash against the arch rivals. Over the next half hour, we'll get you what the captains had to say. We'll also bring you special conversations with both India and Pakistan fans that I had at the Melbourne cricket ground. And our experts, former India cricketers Maninder Singh and Deep Das Gupta, will be joining me soon. But first up, let's set up the mega blockbuster India versus Pakistan clash for you.
The Indian lineup boasts of proven match winners like KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, Hardik Pandya and Ravi Ashwin, led by inspirational Rohit Sharma. There will be fireworks at the very top. Kohli will be desperate to prove his mettle, while Surya Kumar will form the backbone of India's middle order. And then there are explosive players down the order who have the ability to turn the game on its head. It is tough for any team to stop the men in blue on their day. And after losing to Pakistan in Asia Cup T20 game, there will be no dearth of motivation. On the downside, India will badly miss services of their pace spearhead Jasprit Bumrah and all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja. Pakistan got the monkey off its back with its first World Cup win over India in the 2021 T20 World Cup edition. They will surely be high on confidence, and the return of Shaheen Shah Afridi has given them a clear advantage. The man who ran through the Indian top order last time is a threat like no other. But their over-reliance on the top three of Babar Azam, Mohammad Rizwan and Fakhar Zaman, and the lack of experience in the middle order, could leave them shaky in crunch situations.
This time around, the Indian team is going to want to give something to their fans to cheer about, isn't it? Because the last World Cup encounter was nothing to write home about. The team looks settled now, even though you're missing Jasprit Bumrah. You wouldn't want to do that ahead of the World Cup, but that's the reality now. The likes of Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Arshdeep and others will have to take up the bowling burden, especially the pace attack. So a lot is riding on the opening match. The opening match will decide the tempo and the feel for the Indian team ahead. And if they get a big win under their belt, who knows, they will get their juices flowing and India can have a great World Cup. And similarly, Pakistan will be hoping for a great start as well. With camera person Guneet Singh Vedi in Melbourne, Shivani Gupta, CNN News 18. So joining me now are our experts Maninder Singh and Deep Das Gupta. If we talk about the big India versus Pakistan match, I want to begin by just a little bit of perspective as far as this format is concerned. So India and Pakistan have played 11 matches in total. India, of course, has been the more dominating team, winning 7 of those 11 matches with 1 match tied as well. But if you look at the last 5 games, India has won 3 out of the 2. And if you condense that even further, Maninder Paji, in the last 3 T20 internationals that India and Pakistan have played, Pakistan have won 2, including that first World Cup win against India in the last T20 World Cup, and one of the wins that came against India in the Asia Cup gone by as well. So given that, given all of those numbers, who do you think starts with an upper hand on Sunday?
Well, to be very honest, I'll say it's going to be 50-50 because India has been playing very good T20 cricket. They've done well in the past, whatever games they've played. And Pakistan, they've started looking like a unit because, if you see 2 years ago, this Pakistan team didn't look like a unit. But under Babar Azam, because, their selectors, they relied on Babar Azam. They made him the captain. And I think they've got a belief that he's the man who can make a team, a unit out of these youngsters. And he's really done that because he's been performing well himself, and that really rubs on to the team. And I'm sure, he must be communicating well with his team and motivating them pretty well because he can motivate himself. And he's one of those captains who I think has been motivating this team as well, because of which they've become a brilliant unit. So if you really ask me who's going to start as a favorite between India and Pakistan, I would say it's going to be 50-50.
50-50. Well, I don't think Indian fans would mind that, because over the last 1 year or so, Deep, actually it's the Pakistani side that's been having a little bit of an upper hand against India. As I mentioned, last 3 T20 internationals. They also have a lot of star power, quite like India, but their bowling lineup is, of course, one of the best in the world, and that's where the real threat for India is. Do you believe the Indian top order that was practicing yesterday and today, as I witnessed them here in Melbourne, putting in the hard paces, do you believe the Indian top order is up to the likes of Shaheen Afridi, who's come back into the side, and other bowlers that the Pakistani team has?
Listen, first of all, I think for the longest time, India has always gone into an India-Pakistan match as the favorites, right? For the last at least a decade and a half, maybe a couple of decades. But I think after a very long time, this is the first time where, you might say the edge is with Pakistan, and the reason being exactly what you mentioned about their bowling attack. Given the current conditions that we're going to play in, which is, MCG, Australia, where there's pace and bounce, and because they have that kind of firepower, 4 quick bowlers, all of them bowl around 145. They have the ability to clock 150, big ground. So that's a bowling-friendly kind of a ground or venue, you can say, where you're looking at a 170, 175 kind of a game. That's where I think Pakistan would have the edge over India. So, yeah, for the longest time, it's been, going in as favorites. But I think after a long time, India would be, I would say, not the favorites to win the game, would be almost 50-50, if I may say so. Maybe Pakistan, because of their bowling attack, might be just a tad bit ahead.
Talking of the word challenge, that's exactly how the Indian captain Rohit Sharma described the fact that they lost to Pakistan in the last World Cup and have to take revenge for that, quote unquote. And the fact that India hasn't won an ICC trophy in almost a decade. The last time was 2013 in the Champions Trophy. We, of course, won the inaugural T20 World Cup, but we've been waiting for an ICC trophy for a very long time. So listen in from both the captains and how they view this clash. As you're saying, the last World Cup has been a turning point of sorts. After that, a lot has changed, as you're talking about. You worked in the dressing room, you've become captain. But the last World Cup keeps getting talked about because that's the first time Pakistan beat us in a World Cup final. Now, we've lost to them in the Asia Cup as well last. So does that put extra pressure on you? And what do you think? Because this Pakistani team is not looking like the one that India can easily dominate, as it has in big ICC events in our history. So do you feel that extra pressure that this team is certainly not the team, Pakistani team of the past, not that inconsistent? And how do you take that challenge? What do you think is the biggest challenge facing this team?
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't want to use the word pressure because pressure is constant. It's not going to change ever. I would like to take this as a challenge. I want to use that word, a challenge, a little more, because it's a challenge. This Pakistani team is a very challenging team. I mean, all the Pakistani team that I've played from 2007 till 2022, they've been a good team. It's just that I believe on that particular day kind of a thing. On that particular day, if you're good enough, you'll beat any opposition. And on that day, you're good, you will take the win and you'll go home. And that is what has happened in the last so many years.
चैलेंज तो हर मैच में होता है. ये नहीं है कि आप किसी भी टीम को इजी लें, और कोई भी टीम हो, और स्पेशली T20 में क्योंकि कोई गेम फास्ट चलती है और डिसीजन जितने जल्दी ले सकते हैं और शॉर्ट टाइम होता है. 1 आवर से मैच दूसरी तरफ चल जाता है. एक मेरे ख्याल कैच छोड़ने से या एक रन आउट होने से या एक पार्टनरशिप छोटी लगने से मैच चेंज हो जाते हैं. तो ये शॉर्ट गेम है और इसमें जितना जल्दी आप पॉजिटिव रहेंगे, जितना आप दूसरी टीम को पे काम करेंगे और जितना इस पे अपनी प्लानिंग पे स्टिक रहेंगे, तो मेरे ख्याल से वो ज़्यादा आपके लिए अच्छा है. पेस अटैक और जिस तरह हमारे फास्ट बॉलर परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, शाहीन वापस आए हैं, नसीम और स्पेशली हारिस, जो जितना उसने अपना इम्प्रूव किया गेम और जिस तरह उसने बॉलिंग अपनी इम्प्रूव की है, तो एज अ बॉलिंग यूनिट हमारा काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंस आया है. और देखें ऑन द डे कोशिश करेंगे कि जो हमारे प्लान्स है उसको एग्जीक्यूट किया जाए.
So let me just just give our viewers an update as far as the Pakistan team is concerned. Today in the press conference, Maninder Paji, what Babar Azam confirmed to the media is that Fakhar Zaman is actually not fit to take the field. He said that he'll take a little bit more time. But Shan Masood, who had suffered a little bit of a hit on the nets yesterday, is fit to play. Given that, what do you make of the Pakistan playing 11? Who do you think, is going to be their star? I mean, with both Naseem Shah and Shaheen Afridi in the bowling lineup, even though Shaheen Afridi hasn't played, since the Asia Cup when he was ruled out, he will still be a threat. And then Naseem was also good in that Asia Cup when he played against India. So what do you make of the fact of the bowling and the batting lineup of the Pakistani team?
I think this Pakistan team has become a very good unit, under Babar Azam, and that is going to be the most important aspect of this Pakistan side. Babar Azam is going to be very important on the field, the way he handles the boys, and as he said in his press conference that it's a 20-over game and you have to take quick decisions when you're on the field, when you're leading the side. I think that's absolutely right, and if you compare both the captains on that issue, I think they're both very, very good. So if you're asking me who's going to be an important factor from the Pakistan side, I think Shaheen Afridi, yes, he's going to make a difference, even though he's not played a lot of cricket in the past few months because of injuries. But, one thing he's always proved is that he's mentally very strong. He's got those variations. He can bring the ball in. And if a left-arm seamer can bring the ball in and move the ball away, he's going to be a challenge. So I think he's going to be a challenge for the Indian boys. There's no doubt about it when he comes on to bowl. But I would say you've got to be positive when you're batting against him. If you get an opportunity to score runs, you've got to score those runs. Otherwise, the bowler is going to, take over. So that is going to be very important. If the Indian batsmen start thinking that, let's play 2 overs off, I think that will be the wrong approach. You've got to be positive in your approach. Like Babar Azam said that they're going to be very positive in their approach. This is exactly what the Indian boys need to do against Shaheen Afridi.
But, speaking of the Shaheen Afridi factor, I saw Deep yesterday, Rohit Sharma taken a left-arm seamer in the practice session twice. He actually batted twice in the practice session. Today, Virat Kohli was out there batting in the nets and he looked in great touch. Do you feel that in the last 1 year, the Indian team, especially the top order, the likes of KL Rahul, Virat and Rohit Sharma, will be troubled yet again by left-arm pace, or do you think they have it in them to recover from those setbacks?
Well, to be honest, listen, quality of Shaheen will obviously give you problems. So there's absolutely two ways about it. How much you want to practice or you've practiced, you're still going to find it challenging because that's the class of bowler that he is, not just him, the other four as well. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, it's to a great extent, this match is about power play overs. Right, whether it's India batting or whether it's India bowling. So their strength, as far as batting is concerned, are obviously Rizwan and Babar himself. So, first 6 overs, get an early wicket, get into that middle order. Shan Masood is a really good batter, but I'm not too sure whether this is his favorite format. Longer formats is very, very good. T20, yes, he's had a good PSL and everything else, but that middle order is kind of fragile. So with bowling, first 6 overs, India, and with batting as well, you don't initially give wickets to someone like Shaheen Afridi when the ball's swinging, because this ball also doesn't swing like 6-7 overs. It's going to swing for 3 overs. Listen, watching Trent Bolt and Tim Southee bowl today.
Well, that's the mini battle within the larger battle, isn't it? It is indeed a battle of the Pakistani opening bowling lineup and the Indian top order. And a lot will be made out depending on the success that either has in this match. Let me also quickly get our viewers what Rohit Sharma, who's obviously taken over from Virat Kohli since that loss against Pakistan in the last World Cup, and of course India crashing out before the knockout stages, what he had to say about what were the things he focused on once he took over, the lessons learned from the losses in the last World Cup, and what needed to change after that, and what they worked on in the last 1 year. Listen in.
लड़कों को वो फ्रीडम देना बहुत ज़रूरी था, वो सिक्योरिटी देना बहुत ज़रूरी था कि आप ही हमारे लिए काम कर सकते हो, आप ही हो जो ये चैलेंज ले सकते हो. तो आई थिंक ये 2 चीज़ है जो हमने फोकस की कि लड़कों को कैसे एक सिक्योरिटी दिया जाए कि वो जाकर अपना गेम खेले विदाउट वरिंग अबाउट रिजल्ट्स, विदाउट गेटिंग ड्रॉप्ड फ्रॉम द टीम. तो कुछ कुछ चीज़ें, ये छोटी छोटी चीज़ सुनने में लगती है, बट ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ होती है, क्योंकि कॉन्फिडेंस के लिए माइंडसेट का सही जगह पर रहना बहुत ज़रूरी है.
Maninder Paji, you think that's a bit of a swipe at the Ravi Shastri, Virat Kohli era that Rohit Sharma was talking about?
I don't think he was talking about that. I think that's his way of going about things, because he's been captain for Mumbai Indians since 2013, and he's won 5 titles, and he knows what to do with the boys to get the best out of them. I don't think he was saying anything about Ravi Shastri or Virat Kohli. Basically, he was trying to say about his style of captaincy, and I think that's very, very important. Mahendra Singh Dhoni also did that, gave confidence to the boys. Virat Kohli had a different way of approaching the game. So you can't compare, the two captains in that manner. But Rohit Sharma, I think he's right. You've got to give the boys the freedom. You've got to tell them that go and play the way you know how to play the game. And giving that security is very important, because I remember, Virendra Sehwag wasn't an opening batsman, and Sourav Ganguly told him to open the innings. And, when Virendra Sehwag approached him and told him that I'm not an opening batsman in Test match cricket, he said, if you don't score runs, I promise you, I'll play you in the middle order. Now, that's the kind of confidence, that's the kind of security a captain needs to give to his players, and probably Rohit Sharma does that pretty well, and that is why Mumbai Indians, they've got so many titles in their bag.
Deep, no captain wants the ignominy of losing against Pakistan, and especially at the World Cup stage. Given what happened last time around, obviously Rohit Sharma wouldn't want to go down that road at all, wouldn't want that situation to happen. How do you think an Indian captain handles the pressure of playing versus Pakistan?
Well, I guess the first thing obviously is to create the environment that it's just another game. I mean, it's easier said than done, because you don't, what you need as sports people, as cricketers, is emotional balance. You can't can't possibly get carried away with emotions, good, bad, or ugly. It's just another game, and that's the environment they need to create, because anyways, they're going to put in their best, irrespective whether it's Pakistan or that's Zimbabwe. They're still going to put in their best. They're going to still do it. That's the reason when you speak to a cricketer, they'll keep talking about processes. I know it's a cliched word, but bottom line is that's what it is.
Final comments, gentlemen. Maninder Paji, in such an environment where rain could play a factor, although I should tell our viewers once again that some of the rain predictions or forecasts have reduced for Sunday, although there is still rain predicted in the evening on Sunday. But in such an environment, do you believe the toss will become extremely important, even more important than it is in a T20 match? And what should India really look to do if they win the toss?
Well, if you win the toss, I think you should basically field first, because in 20 overs cricket, if you have a target in front of you, it doesn't become easier, but you know how to approach your game. So I would think that if you win the toss, you field first, and if it is a shortened game, all the more reason that the toss becomes important, because if you know your target in 10 overs, you need to get that many runs. Then you can plan your game accordingly. But I really hope that it's a 20-over game. It is not a reduced match, because it's an India-Pakistan game. It's a high-pressure game, and we would like to have the full game.
Yeah, this is the Melbourne cricket ground where the match is going to take place. Remember when Pakistan won their World Cup title under Imran Khan, they won it at this very stadium. But lately speaking, India has also found this a very happy hunting ground, especially in Test cricket. So they've got good memories going in. Let's hope we've got a cracker of a match on our hands and a full 20 over a side. Deep, any favourite memory from India-Pakistan matches that you want to share, and your prediction for this game?
My God. Well, memories are quite a few. I still remember this very, very distinctly because I've got a family of cricket fans, right? So it was obviously that Sharjah game, Miandad last ball 6 to Chetupa. And I still distinctly remember my elder brother, who's like quite elder to me, and he kind of couldn't speak. He couldn't breathe for the next 20 odd seconds when that ball left the bat. And I still remember, and I was very, very young at that point in time. And from then onwards, it kind of sunk in what this game actually means to everyone, right? So Yeah, so that's one memory that I have from a very, very young age of an India-Pakistan encounter. And then most of the India-Pakistan games have been quite memorable as well. As far as this game is concerned, like Manibaji said, I honestly hope it's not a curtailed game, because 20 overs anyways, it's a curtailed game any which way. And if you further put it to a 5 over, a 7 over, put it into a 7 over game, then it becomes a bit of a lottery, to be honest. So, yes, I mean, hopefully a 20 over game, either side. And it's difficult. It's difficult. I just hope that India starts well and starts off with a victory, because it's not just about winning this game, it's about winning the World Cup. When you start with a win, and that to a good win against a very good side, one of the favorites to win, you know you're on the right path for winning the tournament as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly the point that I was going to make. It's not just about playing Pakistan and winning against them, getting revenge for the last World Cup. It's also about starting your World Cup campaign well. Remember, the Indian team will have their eyes on the trophy. Rohit Sharma said today, the team feels that it has what it takes to go all the way to do what it wants to do. And that would be to bring the cup home. I thank Maninder Paji and Deepdas Gupta for joining us for the meantime. Remember, before the big match on Sunday, our experts will be joining us as we build up to the big clash. I'll be here at the MCG. So thank you, gentlemen. We are slipping into a very short break, but on the other side, as promised, I'm bringing you the special conversations and chats that I had with both Indian and Pakistani fans, and a special guest as well. So stay tuned.